Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is our match preview for Aston Villa v Wolves in the Premier League. If you are new to this channel, make sure you are subscribing. We're on a journey. Get on the journey with us. It's absolutely amazing to be a Villa fan at the minute. So get on board. Loads of content all through the week. Match previews, predicted lineups, opposition previews, reacting to pressers, tactical debriefs, fan cams, match reactions. So there's plenty there for new people to get stuck into and get involved. And as always, get your thoughts in the comment section down below. It goes off like a fan forum every single time. So just share your thoughts, get involved, play your part. Up the Villa, and smash the likes on the video as well. The likes are very important to pushing the videos out further onto YouTube. So, Up the Villa, what a time to be a Villa fan. It is, for me, the best time I have ever had at being a Villa fan by a mile. It's just absolutely amazing. I just want to touch on my personal thoughts on how I'm feeling as a fan. I'd love you to share yours, and then we'll get into the Wolves and Premier League, etc., sort of midway through the episode. So I'm just feeling really proud, really excited, and really happy on how we are developing and how we are growing. I've spoke for some time on this channel about when things go well and when things go sideways a little bit, bad performance, not play so well, poor result. And I always say that we are by far from the finished article. And what I always mean by that is we're very early into Unai's tenure. You know, Unai's not been here that long. And for Unai's vision, he was talking before the game and he was saying that we don't just want to be a mid team in the Premier League. We want to be a team that is at the top end. Now, that takes time to get there. It takes time to get there, but it also takes time to stay there and to maintain your success that you've got with recruitment, getting recruitment strategies going and players coming in and a vision for 3, 4, 5 years down the line. It does take time. But what I'm seeing at Aston Villa now is a growth and a maturity. And I think that's probably the biggest word that I can take from the last couple of games. Very mature. We're growing into now being a very good footballing side that can follow Unai's plan, stick to his plan, stick to his vision. And I think that is where you start getting to becoming a very good team who is going to be right up there at the very top. And yeah, we're up there now. And I'm not saying that we're going to dip. But what I'm saying is we're just maturing. And the performance is getting to that level of where I think he really wants us. And there's a couple of things from the game yesterday that really pleased me. And they're not even like big standout things that really impress me, because I already know we are good. I already know that a lot of our players are brilliant. And sometimes when you're reviewing a game, you can overlook those players because they're just doing what they always do. For example, Ezri Konsa. Like, I don't think I mentioned him on the match reaction because he just does what he normally does now. And he puts in those levels of performance where sometimes they don't catch your eye because that's what he does now. And I'm starting to get to that level. And yeah, we'll go through on the tactical debriefs. We'll show you the stats with key players like Tielemans from the weekend. We wax lyrical on Tielemans. But players like Ramsey really came into their own for me against Young Boys. The maturity of his performance was just something that I've not seen from him. It was as if this is my time now. His chest was out. He was I could just see in his eyes that he had tunnel vision performance to not only do his own role, but to do the role for the team, the tracking back, the interceptions, the positional awareness, all brilliant things that make a really good performance. And then we've got his driving runs, his vertical forward passes, his goal, his tenacity to take that ball off Watkins and put it in the back of the net. And then I hear things from Unai Emery after the game and John McGinn talking about what was said at half time. And we were 2-0 up, and it wasn't, I want to go out 100 mile an hour and get the next goal. McGinn was talking about Unai telling them to slow things down, to take our time, to just ease back into the second half, to nullify the threat of the opposition, to control the game. And these are all signs of an absolutely unbelievable football team. And I couldn't be more proud because I've dreamt all my life of watching this team at this level. And to see us go there and get that victory, and you'll probably get people going, yeah, but it's only this team. They're no good, blah, blah, blah. That's absolute rubbish. Because there are no bad teams in this competition. It's the Champions League. This is a team that won their division last season. It is a team that consecutively win their league. This is a team who win football matches. And to go to any European game and to put that level of control, that level of dominance, that level of ruthlessness is perfect for me. So what a performance. Absolutely loved it. And I even loved hearing the commentators just not only like wax lyrical about our players, but their reactions to some of the things. Rio Ferdinand was sort of like not even on co-coms, was he? He was sort of on pick up the mic when something happens. And you could hear him during the game. Morgan Rogers had picked up the ball, bumped one off, and he'd nutmeg someone. And in front of the commentators, you could just hear Rio Ferdinand go, whoa. And that is his reaction to watching Aston Villa play. And it's just absolutely amazing. And I'm just so proud of how we played, how we adapted, that we've got stuck into the Champions League straight away with a victory, because it is big, because we know we've got Bayern Munich coming up next, which is going to be a difficult game. They won 9-2. So, you know, they're banging form, a really good team. But it was important that we got off to a good start. And I just really wanted to share more thoughts on how I'm feeling as a Villa fan. And, you know, some of the players, like I mentioned, Konsa, Ramsey, Tielemans, Onana, Luka Dean. How good's Luka Dean at the minute? He's unbelievable. And Rodgers is just exceptional. He's flourishing, and yeah, I'm buzzing. But on a personal level, I'm going to get this in there because, you know, I'm sort of proud of my own achievements, to be fair. Yesterday, I opened the day with Sky Sports, which was fantastic to be back on there talking about Villa and how I was feeling and how the fan base is sort of feeling being back in Europe. And then I touched on Gary Shaw as well, which was, you know, special for me to do on Sky Sports. And then I was on BBC Sport. So this one was really good as well, chatting about Villa and how we're going to do, etc. So, yeah, on a bit of a personal level, I had quite a good day yesterday with the Villa, with doing some of these things as well. So I just want to say, like, cheers for everyone's support as well. So we're back in Premier League action. And the turnaround is quick, sharp, and we've got a job to do. We've got another job to do now, back at Villa Park against Wolves. And we've just got to be ruthless. It's a ruthless job and a task that we've got in hand now of dispatching the Dingles, who are winless this season, who've got 1 point this season. But from a Villa point of view, I think the travel and the day in between should be okay. I think we play Tuesday, game on Saturday at 3:00. That's a general decent turnaround, I think. And then Wolves are playing on Wednesday evening against Brighton away. So we've sort of got a day extra rest and we're playing in the Champions League. So, yeah, they've got a game midweek. I imagine that they'll probably rotate quite a few of their players. But, you know, it's important to go one game at a time. I think that's the best way to go. I think we are on a decent run of fixtures, but I think we know in the Premier League that every game is difficult. Every game has its own different permutations. You can look at this one, and you can look at the one at Everton. Everton hadn't won. Come to Villa Park. They played all right. They got the 2 goals. We had to come back. I don't think any of us would have thought the game would have gone like that. And then this one's exactly the same. Wolves winless. Local derby-ish rivalry, I think I'd probably call it. But they do take it as a derby, and it's important that we do as well. And we are up for it because they are going to want to come here and get their first victory. And it's all about Villa being how we do things, controlling the game, being dominant, getting to our patterns. Maybe we do rotate with 1 or 2 players, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how Emery will feel about doing that. But what I would say is that we've got a couple of players now that are really sort of chomping at the bit. And I think the big thing about us at the minute is that no matter whether you're playing 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you are impacting the game. And we've seen this so far. We've saw the first game, Maatsen coming on, sort of putting in like a pre-assist to Ramsey. Duran got the winner. We're seeing games such as Leicester with Duran coming off the bench, Maatsen, Barkley. And then we saw against Everton the introduction of Barkley, who was fantastic. Duran came on, got the winner. So a lot of these players that are coming off the bench are really impacting for Villa, and they're all playing really well. So I imagine that whether it's Wickham or even Buendia's coming on now. And I was really impressed with Buendia against Young Boys. I thought his touch and his sort of just awareness was really, really good. So I think we've got players that are coming off the bench that are going to start impacting games, going to start starting games with rotation from time to time as well. So, yeah, I think the home crowd is going to be, I think it's going to be fired up, as it would be for Wolves. But I think he's also going to have a heartfelt feel about it because of Gary Shaw's passing. And, you know, it's going to be emotional, I think, for most people in that ground if it's a minute's applause or a minute's silence. I just think it's going to be really, really emotional because he's just an absolute legend. And I think it's sort of, he has affected everybody, whether you are a fan that has seen him play or a fan that hasn't. I think everybody, you know, really feels connected with Shaw and the club and 82. So, yeah, I think he's going to get a fitting tribute on Saturday as well. So, yeah, hopefully we can do it for him again at home. Wolves, let's chat about Wolves now. I think they're going to struggle this season. Big time. Big time. I've seen a couple of the games. I've saw the Chelsea game. I've saw the Newcastle game. And I think there's a bit of a random vibe there at the minute with off-field ownership, recruitment, selling players, bringing players in. Squad looks a bit unbalanced to me. I think it looks quite competitive in midfield. I think the introduction of Andre is really good. I was impressed with him. Lamina, I've pretty much always rated Lamina. And then I look at the defence and I'm thinking it can really be got at. Forward line, not firing. Strand Larson, new signing. Looks like he works hard, but are the goals there? Hwang out the team. Did well last year with goals. Neto's gone. Big player for them on transition. And it's all about sort of Cunha and Cunha to get the goals. And he's a threat, Cunha. I like him. We were linked with him. And I always think he's a threat. He was a threat at the end of the game against Newcastle. But I just worry about the goals and the creativity, the spark in the team. Like, where's the midfield spark? The midfield has got, industrial, strong, combative players. But has it got creativity? I don't see it. I really don't see it. And I think they're going to struggle. They are 1 win in 14 now. That win was against Luton. So I think, they're going to struggle. I think Gary O'Neill's been a bit stubborn with his formation. He's trying to go with a 4 at the back, and it's not really working. He was probably better against Newcastle. I felt like Ait-Nouri was better against Newcastle, but he was shocking against Chelsea. So there's that little bit of him sticking to he wants to go with a 4. They didn't recruit for a 4. He wanted, and it's just a bit of a mess. And can they survive? That's the thing. Like, if I look at the league, like who are they? Who are they better than? You can go across that league and say, Southampton, Leicester, maybe Ipswich, maybe. Are they better than Brentford? I don't think they are. Not better than Forest, West Ham, Everton. Maybe they're probably on par with it. They're probably on par with Everton, I think. So, yeah, they're okay, and I do want Midlands football to do well as well. Like, I want to see our teams like challenging and doing well for the area and just pushing that West Midlands narrative. But it just feels like at the minute Wolves are in a bit of a crossroads in a way in which like they forgot how to win, and I think that's difficult. That is, and the biggest thing in football is that if you do play well and lose, that's even the worst feeling in the world. So yeah, I think they're in for a bit of a tough time, Wolves, this season. Goals are going to be a problem. Creativity is going to be a problem. Home form looks like it's fallen off a cliff. So it's going to be a difficult game for them at Villa Park. And if Villa get into their rhythm, get into their groove and get an early goal, then at the minute they're conceding goals in clusters as well. And heads are dropping. So it's important for Villa to get stuck into it straight away, get our dominance and just start playing our football and watch them on transition. So, yeah, they are a good team on transition, which we'll go through tomorrow on the predicted lineup. So if we have a little look then at some of the stats, the tail of the game, how it's going to go, etc., how it's been going in recent times. So Premier League era, played 18 times. Villa 6 wins, Wolves 6 and 6 draws. We've got 2 home wins, which is not great, and they've got 3 away wins. We are currently 5th, they're 18th. We've won 3, they've won none. They are scoring 1 goal per game, and we are scoring 1.8. They're conceding 2.8 per game, and we are conceding 1.5. We can see the recent 5-game form of going into this fixture. Villa have a 2-0 win, a 1-1, a 1-0 for Wolves, a 1-1 and a 2-1. And then this is the form guide so far this season. Wolves have lost 2-0 to Arsenal, 6-2 to Chelsea, 1-1 with Forest and a 2-1 with Newcastle. This was their lineup in their last game against Newcastle. So you can see Ait-Nouri in a back 4 as opposed to when he does really good in a back 5. Dawson, Mosquera and Semedo, Lamina, Andre, Gomez and Bellegarde. It's pretty much a 4-3-3 with Lamina in there as more of the advanced out of the 2 of Andre and Gomez. Cunha on the left, Strand Larson and Bellegarde out wide. And then we can see the average positions, which are a little bit like what Everton's were like, with a narrow midfield three, stretching the width with their fullbacks. That can be exploited. So, yeah, a little bit on Wolves there as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think Villa should win. I think if we have our level of control, we have our level of dominance, we show our style, our identity, make sure we are strong and we are watching that transition, because that's where Wolves are going to want to sit in and hurt us and break. But what I'd probably say about the difference between Villa and Newcastle at the minute, and the way in which they had joy against Newcastle, I think we have more control than Newcastle. I think our shape allows us to camp in more and just get more runners on a blind side. So, such as, say, a Bogard running through and adding that extra player into that midfield. I think we camp in with more shape. I think what I'm seeing with Newcastle at the minute is it's a little bit quicker, a little bit more. They want the movement quicker than Villa, whereas Villa will allow us to sort of play safer. We will play slower. We will move sides from left to right, where I think Newcastle are a little bit more direct with their passing, whether it's out wide. And then they sort of sometimes leave spaces and leave gaps, where I think with Villa, we rarely leave that gap at times as well. So I think a lot can be learned on from the Everton with Calvert-Lewin breaking on transition. And I think that's something that Unai will be looking at and drilling into the team for this game as well. So, yeah, just really looking forward back at Villa Park. And I think this is going to be an exciting game. It's always got a little bit of bite because it's Wolves anyway. So I think, yeah, I'm just loving life as a Villa fan. And hopefully you guys all are as well, which I imagine you will be. So, score prediction for this game. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1 for me. I'm going to go 3-1. Big that we kept the clean sheet as well in the last game, which is huge. So we'll have predicted lineup that will be out tomorrow. So I'm doing this match preview on my own. Justin will be joining me for the predicted lineup, where we'll go through Wolves. We'll have a look at their team, how they play, their style, what can we expect. We'll predict our lineup, and that will be out tomorrow. So if you have enjoyed this episode, finish it off by smashing the likes, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and up the Villa.